What is up, best friends? This is your best friend, Sam Pura, and today we're going to take a look at my studio, the Panda Studios. So let's step inside. Okay, we are in the entryway of the Panda Studios. I have a few art pieces in here worth talking about. Number one, the gorgeous Panda painting here. It is just a beautiful painting, nice, colors, nice aesthetic, little surrealist and a little avant-garde, letting people know what they're walking into. A creative production space, branded with a beautiful panda. Then here is my Nail the Mix certificate when I did my Nail the Mix session for the Story So Far song. Then we turn to my favorite poster in the building. This is the Radiohead Kid A bear. It's not a panda, but hey, we'll let it go because Kid A is one of my favorite albums of all time. So, you have to grace every new client with its presence and importance by just having it in there in the peripheral vision. So, they may not notice it, they may not appreciate it, but it's somehow influencing the music we're about to make when they walk into this facility. Best record ever, Kid A. And lastly, we got this very cute panda here with a heart, letting everyone know that we truly love and care about you, and we're here to be best friends. And then also, no smoking on the premises. So make sure that you smoke your cigarettes and your vapes and things like that on the street, because there is no smoking of any kind allowed at the Panda Studios. Next, we'll go into our first room here, which is the bedroom. I used to refer to this room as the waiting room, and then I named my live production recording series on YouTube. I named it the waiting room after this room, so it would be confusing what this is if it's, associated with that. So we'll just let this go. We just call this the bedroom now. So I started my recording studio a long time ago and eventually had it in one of my old live-work recording studios in Oakland where I had bands crash. And that would allow them to stay at my studio for weeks at a time for us to just focus on making a record. So when I moved into this facility 13 years ago now, I decided that I wanted to bring that vibe into my space and have a place for my bands to crash as well too, whenever we were making records. So I made this room for them, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 tucked under there, 9 beds for everyone to sleep in. And they're all kind of modeled like a tour bus bunk. I went on tour and loved my bunk as a young lad. So the only thing you really needed in your bunk is a light and a power source. So each bed has its light and a power source. And then everyone has their own specific towel, a pillow, and a comforter. And every bed is decked out for everyone to just hang out and live here for days, weeks, months, making a record here at the Panda Studios. Now we got a couple of art pieces in here worth talking about. Number one, you might notice that the room is purple, and that's because we love our boy Prince. Purple Rain, one of my favorite artists, big influence. This is an art piece by a friend of mine, Robbie's fiance, Carissa. She did this. It's phenomenal. It's a bunch of mixed media. Once I saw it, I knew we needed it in this room, so we got it hanging out in here to let everyone know that Prince is the god, and he's one that we all need to reference and respect because there's a lot to learn from listening to Prince music. So yeah, we got Prince here. We got a little cute little panda. Pandas wherever we possibly can. Then one of my favorite pieces here, this is an old Salvador Dali painting that I got at IKEA when I used to work there as a kid. It's actually a pretty cool piece. It takes a while to really see it, but if you step back, you'll notice that this piece here, this breast actually makes up a nose, and this actually makes up an eye, and then this is a mouth, and then you see a little neck tie, and you then see that there's some hair, and this is a person, so it's like a double image inside of like another image. It's just like a trip. Like, I just love Salvador Dali. He's a big influence. I just love his attention to detail and his depth and his color, all things that really actually influence my audio work and my artistic aesthetic. Are things like looking at a Dali painting. That's how I want my music to sound. Very detailed, very crisp, lots of double meanings, lots of depth. Salvador Dali rocks, so that's there. Then I got a nice print from my buddy Chris Newell. He's a really good friend of mine that grew up going to high school with, and he's a great artist. So this is one of his elephants that he did. I think this is a stamp, actually. It's like a stamp that he like made and dipped in ink and pressed. Looks super cool. Then an old CD. I don't know how many of you remember CDs, but here's the first EP I did for a band called The Story So Far. And then the first album I did for a band called Heavy Heavy Lolo. These two CDs were kind of like launching points for my career that kind of made my studio what it is today. So it's also, we got a desk in here so that if you want to set up and just hang out and do any audio work or computer work, you got a quiet space to be around and do your own thing over here too. People bring TVs and video game stations and whatever. We even set up and do side recording in here too. Why not, you know? That is the bedroom. This is where you would crash if you came and recorded at the studio for a few weeks. Let's continue on into the hallway here. This is the glorious walk of fame that is littered with all of our records that we have produced here throughout the years. LPs are on the right side here. EPs and smaller releases are here on the left side. We still have some space to make up for some other spots here, so we'll keep going from there. Lots of notable cool stuff in here on this wall. Heavy Heavy Lolo, Bone Cutter, then Spice, Sabertooth Zombie. This is a California legend in the punk scene in my world. Human Performance 1, 2, 3, and No Sir. Also, we have the classic Story So Far split that they did with Stick to Your Guns. This has the song Clairvoyant on it, which was like probably the first like song I ever did that hit 1 million plays on Spotify. How crazy that was when that happened. But yeah, some other cool releases, you know, Basement album or EP that I mixed, Band Stick Up Kid, an EP that I did for them, super cool. American Scene, Forever Kim Calling, The Limousines, shout out to The Limousines. Then we have a really cool, you know, surrealist, energetic photo of a panda there, you know, it kind of highlights the spirituality and creativity we try to exude through our productions here. We talk about this wall for a second. We got a few cool records on here. This is actually a pretty fun guy. This is The Pillow Guy. This is a song that he did, and he's a really talented artist. He actually like makes really phenomenal art pieces for a lot of corporations and, you know, one-time gigs, but super cool guy, Pillow Guy, fun project. My Iron Lungs Relief. This is a pretty good album that I produced. Sounded great. Shout out to Devin Bentley, phenomenal drummer. Then this is the Tennis System album that I mixed and did some additional production on. This is produced by my good friend Chad, who's in the band 100th. This is probably my favorite album I've ever worked on. This is their album Somewhere Nowhere. Shout out to some friends Call the Wolf. This is more 100th records right here. These are all 300th records that I've done. Band Dorm Patrol from Sweden, super cool. Season Change, it's been a while since I thought about them. They were a band on No Sleep. Yeah, pretty cool. We can move on over to here. This is one of the coolest album artwork pieces I've ever seen. This is from the Sabertooth Zombie album, Dead Fathers, which is this album right here. But if you split it open, it looks like this, and it's got Walt Disney and the Pope and Sarah Palin, and then this is like some priest or like some bishop in their area that was like, you know, in a bunch of trouble for like sexually abusing kids and stuff. So it's just like axis of evil, lots of money, and you know, the old Illuminati. It's pretty fucking tight and cool art piece. I like it a lot. Then we got a bunch of really cool records over here. We got the Spice albums that we worked on. More Sabertooth Zombie. This is the Heavy Heavy Lolo album, Turtle Nipple. This is one of my favorite albums that I've ever produced. Did a long time ago at a place in Oakland. Lots of weed, lots of fun, lots of avant-garde noise time. This is re-release of the fucking album that I did for Heavy Low. Probably the thing that like put me on the map. First record that I ever did anything cool. This is the Downstairs EP, which is like some of the dudes from Heavy Low's album. Good band. That's our homie Joshy on the cover there, who unfortunately passed away. So it's a nice memory to see him up on there. North, amazing band that I worked with from Arizona, like, Jesus, 15 years ago. Really phenomenal band. This album, actually, all the way at the top, kind of a funny one. It's actually the first and only album to come out on my record label that I had put out with my friend Jihad from 12 Gauge Records, and this is put it out on our own record label called Family Drugs. But yeah, that's a end of year self-defense family album, or EP. Very cool. Then we're on to the Stories So Far wall here of all the Stories So Far records I've done and the few variants of them. So yeah, lots of history there, including Kevin's solo record there with Same Side. So that is that. Then we got American Scene, State Champs, Elder Brother, Dangerous Summer, Forever Kim Collins, Contender. Wow, I gotta fix that little sleeve that's coming out of there. I wonder how that happened. I'll get up there on a ladder and fix that. Then we got the Blowout record up there. That frame and that glass broke at one point, so it seemed pretty fitting to put the Blowout record in a record with, or a frame with a blown out, glass on the front. Then you'll see an empty space here, anxiously awaiting Death Western, the album that I produced for a band called Spirit World. This is the first album I did. Their new album, Death Western, is out. Phenomenal album, one of the best albums I've ever produced in my life. Can't wait to get that on the wall. Then we got the two Basement albums I did, Color Me a Kindness, Promise Everything. Very great records. Lots of traction through those ones. A band called Alaska, cool band. Worked with them for 2 albums, made some pretty cool shit. And there it is. A band called Gay Paris, To the Wind, Miss Her, and Crucified. That's kind of wraps up the albums on the wall here. Then we go to this side. This is my certificate of graduating in my Bachelor of Applied Science and Sound Arts. I am an actual audio graduate, so I know what I'm doing because I went to college, people, okay? And then, yeah, we got the Story So Far plaque here. A lot of people are always like really impressed by this, but a fun fact that my neighbor made is that we're in the city of Fremont, California, and there's 250,000 people of the population. So this number means that not even half of the people of Fremont, California purchased this album. If you're going deeper, this number means that 0.001% of the population has purchased this album. So, a lot of people are impressed by this, but I see it as just, the starting point. We're shooting bigger. We want to reach global scale. We want to be best friends with every human in the world and make their favorite songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that kind of wraps up the hallway. I have these really nice panels up here blocking off any of the open space. It just ties the space together. It looks real nice. I also like to stick mics out here because it's a really cool ambient room. So that is why I have a pair of large diaphragm condenser microphones just sitting out here all the time. Now we make our way down to the west bathroom. As we do, might as well take note of our Nest thermostat. Controlled the entire studio. I can control it from home, control it from here. It's amazing. Also, look at my little JMP key rack here so we can all hang up our keys. Looks nice and gorgeous. Also, fire extinguisher. Anything goes wrong, you got it right there. Just grab that thing, put it out. You want to hang up your jacket, put it right there. Anyways, here is our bathroom. This was remodeled and redecorated by my wife, Kristen. Shout out to Kristen. I love you. Yep. Sink, toilet with a heated bidet. No big deal. Thanks to Drug Seeker, Nick Matos, for getting me that for the studio. Yeah, all your little basic tools here. And then a nice little sound trap panel that actually hides the water heater conveniently. Then a cool little piece of art here by a friend named Kelsey. And we got this other really cute little art piece here of a panda, like, some space, some, avant-garde little paint, some minimalism going on. It's like a beautiful mushroom acid trip. And then, you know, Panda in the tub. Who could go wrong with that, right? Gorgeous. And so, yeah, then you got your shower where you can hang out and get yourself all rinsed off after a long day of recording drums. We have the beautiful fountain head that comes out from the top. You know, little small shower, but it gets the job done. Oddly, one of my favorite showers that I've ever been in my life. Yeah, so that is the West bathroom. So let's make our way to the kitchen for the Panda Studios, which is more like a break room. Here we are. We got our fridge with all of our essentials here. Let's give you a nice look. You've got the Red Bull, the LaCroix, the Modelo, the Liquid Death, the White Claw, the 4-Point, and we'll do the stand-in of Peroni instead of Trumer today. So Peroni it is. And then we also have our Hairball Audio beer glasses ready to go. Don't mind our assistant Teresa's two Jimmy Dean sausages in the back there, but yeah, that's our fridge. And then here is our kegerator, which is actually full of sparkling water. So I make my own sparkling water. I have my own mixture of minerals that I use to put into our water here to make it a very great tasting sparkling mineral water. And then we carbonate it and we pour it here. So this is my custom sparkling water with the amazing orange amplifier PBR tap handle. Phenomenal. And then you can grab one of these Primavera cups here for your water. This is what I got from Primavera Festival in Barcelona. Shout out to Barcelona. I love Barcelona. Then, yeah, we got a few little goodies here. You know, we got our Panda Studios sticker. You know, we have our fortune from Panda Express that says, give it everything you've got. You know, you got to let those people know. Topo bottle opener. We got our wine bottle opener. And then, you know, I got this nice little thing here to let people know that where words fail, music speaks. And microwave, you know, please wipe down before and after each use on this thing. We've kept this for many years. It's been very clean. You got your tea, you got your coffee, you got your basic salt and pepper and your plates and your basic things that you would need here. Also important to note all the amazing artwork we've got in here. I really like this one here. It's a bunch of flying cocks. Pretty cool. And then, yeah, some articles of some magazines that has some interviews there. One of the infamous ones here would be the EQ magazine article where I wrote in and talked shit about Eddie Kramer, legendary producer who produced Jimi Hendrix. So it's a famous little excerpt here that says Eddie Kramer versus Sam Pura. What an amazing headline. Yeah, some more articles here. Then this is one of my favorite pieces of artwork in the studio here. This is actually a Panda breaking through the artwork piece a la Bones Brigade, the skateboarding company. And this is actually drawn by Steve Caballero. He was living in San Jose, and I hit him up and was like, yo, you want to paint me a little piece for the studio? And he did this, which is awesome because he's a fucking legend. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, fucking Pal Peralta, Bones Brigade, amazing, awesome Steve Cab in the Panda Studios. Then a little cool art piece here by this dude Joe Gary, who is a tattoo artist. Then some cute little Etsy little prints here, you know, probably for like some baby room, but you know, why not? You know, get a nice little Panda one here. Giants color, go Giants, you know what I'm saying? Then also, you know, the Panda as the astronaut, because we're going to the moon, baby. That Panda coin is pumping. We're gonna go moon, baby. We're gonna fucking go all the way to the top. And lastly, we got our, once we get to the top, we'll get in our big old robot and we'll explore space. So this was unfortunately given to me by from the band So I try not to think about that because it's a beautiful piece here, and yeah, no big deal. It's on the wall. Before we move on to the next room, the last feature I want to show is my very handy hidden networking wall here, where I have all of my internet and my security cameras and my Hue lights and my Google wireless internet all set up, ready to go, so that you can access it at any point. So when we do streams, we can just take it off and plug it in real quick, and then you can just put that thing away and you would never know. Just looks like a panel. So there it is. That is the kitchen at the Panda Studios. Before we proceed, I'm going to grab myself a Peroni.